fan of your page. I was wondering, though, I recently did Ancestry DNA. And besides my 98% European DNA, I got 2%. He writes here that he had 2% Jewish, European Jewish. So I guess by European Jewish, he means like Ashkenazi. I have never known of any Jewish people in my family, so it was a surprise. Would you and most white people still consider me white? Now, this is an important thing that we have to continually address, because there are folks who are new and coming in all the time. And remember that they are coming from the anti-white narrative. And in the anti-white narrative, you're not allowed to participate in service to white well-being unless you can go back 3,000 generations and find nothing but white people, and nobody in your family has any heritable disease. Look at how this like whittles things down. Nobody has ever had a heritable disease. Nobody gets diseases. Everybody's immune systems are perfect. And you have to be over a certain height, and you have to have a certain hair and eye color, and you now see how this works. I mean, this should be so ridiculously odd. Like the guy with the shell game, and he like sweeps the coin off the table, and you're like, yeah, idiot, I just saw you sweep the coin off the table. I'm not paying you anything. In fact, I'm going to take your little coin game and all my money back, and the coin. So it's obvious what they're doing when anti-whites do this. So we have to address, as a consequence, we have, and I think I've all told you about the guy who was overweight, great guy. He came to me and said, I've always wanted to participate. I've seen you speak in public several times. You always get me motivated to participate, and I just can't, though. And I said, well, why not? I can't remember what exactly it was. Sometimes I think I do remember what he told me, but most of the time I don't. Anyhow, it was some kind of heritable disease, and it was that he was a little overweight. He didn't have the disease, but somebody in his family did. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding that you're not participating because of this. So people, and then what ends up happening, remember, those who come to white well-being, who start in a place of pure of heart, and then they look out into the world that they believe that is the anti-white narrative. They decide they have to look like the anti-white narrative. What do they say? That you got to be pure, that you got to be this, you got to be that. So then they start saying those things, and then they exclude good people from our midst because of it. And then we get whittled down to like 3 guys. And boy, no way that we could ever lose with those numbers and talent. So I told this guy, absolutely, you better get your fat ass in here and start serving white well-being. And with your talents and skills, the guy had talents and skills, remarkable fellow, remarkable. And he knows, I know the guy, he knows that calling him a fat ass, term of endearment. He refers to me as Doc Holliday from that Tombstone movie. So good guy, and like him a lot. So, and we're glad to have him in service to white well-being. So we don't turn people away. Here's the answer. Here's how we respond. I wrote my response to this person, who's, I think, an honest person. Maybe not, but probably so. I write back, hello, brother. We don't decide who is or who is not white. Time and conflict will do that for us. My suggestion is that if you cannot escape being victimized for being white and you identify as white, then you should continue to do so. Naturally, be honest with any potential partner with whom you might have children. You want to do the adult thing. And if you discover that you're a white person, you're clearly a white person, when they decide to fire white people so that they can hire non-white people, or when they decide that they're not going to hire white people because they're going to be hiring non-white people, or they're handing out those government loans and you're white, so you're not getting one of them. And then you do an ancestry and you find out, oh my gosh, I have so much of non-white that is present. You find that out, you're getting victimized for being white. You identify as white. Continue doing so. Continue serving white well-being. But you should do the adult thing when it comes to somebody that you're going to marry. So if it's another white positive person, maybe that white positive person also has a tiny bit of non-white in their heritage, and you both won't care. You'll produce children that will also be white, victimized for being white, identify as white, serve white well-being, and they will be embraced as long as people like me and Jared George and all are leading the charge of what it means to serve white well-being. Remember, you don't have to be white at all to serve white well-being. So a percentage of X, Y, or Z in you is totally irrelevant. The bottom line is that time and conflict will decide all of this for us. And in the future, when we recapture our destiny, there is no telling what our technology will be able to do for you and everyone who wants to potentially address, or, you know, little turn here, little dash there, and change your DNA. Remember, also, these people, they get short-sighted. I totally agree. I know we're running out of blonde people. I know we're running out of whites with red hair. I know we're running out of white people with these different, and we, all of us, no matter what color hair or eyes or skin tone, we want to preserve every hue of it, because it is all a manifestation of the spirit of the West. And we know that there are manifestations that have not come to the surface yet. And we are going to be the ones to make sure that those manifestations of the spirit of the West come to the surface. So we are going to ensure that these things are preserved. You don't have to worry that, well, somebody over here has, you know, there's 2% Ashkenazi Jew he found in him. No, nobody knows of any Jewish in the family or whatever it might be. You don't have to worry about him causing there to be no more blonde people. His participation presupposes that he's going to want blonde-haired white people. His participation is going to presuppose that he wants white people with black hair and blue eyes, or black hair and hazel, whatever it might be. We're going to want all of the varieties of our people. And the participation in service to white well-being presupposes that we're going to want these things. So we're all going to be working together to make sure that they are preserved, and in fact that we expand them. I want to see all of the hues of red hair that can come out of a white person. I know we haven't seen the totality yet. There are many, many examples of beauty that I cannot wait to see, that in our future we will bring to fruition, and they will be glorious. It'll be a truly representation of the totality of the biospirit of the West. And as a consequence of doing that, our sails will be filled with that Holy Spirit of the West inside of us, and the work that we do for all time.